Everybody knows that climate change is the major issue of our lifetime. I mean, this is the threat to the planet. This is the absolute contradiction of capitalism.
Under the shadow of one of the biggest CO2 emitters in Europe, Drax coal-fired power station, 600 people from all walks of life set up a camp for climate action, for 10 days of learning, sustainable living and direct action. With over 100 workshops on a wide range of topics, the camp is a space to pool knowledge, ideas and inspiration to tackle the root causes of climate change.
I think this camp's been incredibly inspiring. It's just amazing seeing what people can do when they put their minds to it, you know, with hardly any money but lots of energy and imagination, and the people who've organised it have done an amazing job. I've basically been here since the beginning and seen it spring out of a field and become this really well organised, sustainable camp where people are living and working together. People have done a really good job of working on compost toilets and grey water systems and thinking about where energies come from. Obviously when you're setting up a camp very quickly, it's difficult to put a lot of systems in place, so you can't really harvest all the rainwater and, you know, do things that you would do on a longer term project. But I think it's a really good example of an alternative way to live, a low impact way to live.
You know, we squatted this bit of land. It was an elaborate plan to squat. You know, a land squat in Britain is very difficult. We managed to do it, you know. Before it happened, I just thought, is it possible? I didn't know. You know, if we can't get a bit of land, we can't do the camp, we can't do the workshop. Everything fails, basically. So, you know, Wednesday morning, whenever it was, when it started setting up, you know, groups of people got here, got on the land. We erected marquees, we erected, you know, a big pole structure before the police even knew it was here. You know, that is just an amazing thing to do.
And I think we have created a space where loads of people have turned up with huge amounts of variation of experience and have really got stuck in, from building compost loos to being involved in the legal support team. There's really no divisions here about people who've been more involved or less involved. Like, I do really believe this is now a collectively run camp, which is hugely exciting.
Okay, the aims of the camp are firstly to kind of bring together the people who are really concerned about climate change, the people who know that governments and corporations aren't going to sort it out for us and that we have to sort it out ourselves, to get those people together to talk about the issues, to talk about what kind of radical changes are needed, and to talk about how we can start to put them in place.
This camp's been about workshops and education. It's been about collectively learning about the issues, and it's been about living in a sustainable way and showing that you can live a low energy, sustainable way.
So we have a wind generator here, we have solar panels, we have compost toilets, and the waste from those toilets is going to a local farmer for his orchards. We also have recycling, so we're trying to actually live some of the alternatives that we're mentioning. And then the third aim is to take direct action against Drax Power Station. The stated aim is to try and shut it down. Drax Power Station is the biggest emitter of CO2 in the UK. There are 100 countries in the world that produce less CO2 than Drax does. So it's a major polluter.
Well, we've decided to make this giant ostrich for the protest this week, because one of the symbols for the camp has been this ostrich with its head buried in the sand, and it's this whole thing about people just wanting to ignore the problem and not facing up to it until it's too late. And we're asking people to pull their heads out of the sand and look at the reality of what's happening and take really drastic action to try and stop our world going to hell in a handcart.
This time last year, I was making a trip in Venezuela, and I had the privilege of going out to a place called Zulia, which is in the northwest corner of Venezuela. I was told about a resistance movement that was happening, and it's a resistance against coal mining, and it really kind of made me think about coal mining and the effects it's having on people and communities across the world.
Hay muchos puntos, este otro más adelante, otro más allá. ¿Dónde hay carbones? ¿Dónde vas a sacarlo? Ese ya me significa de ese punto.
Adentro de la laguna tiene otros de estas, sí. Adentro, la propia laguna ahí. Que es el agua que se toma, se va a tomar, se va a beneficiar al pueblo. Por eso que nosotros no aceptaríamos eso.
Carbones del Guasaare presenta su proyecto al mundo con un sentimiento grande de preservar un ambiente, de conservar la gente, de mejorarle la calidad de vida tanto a la gente como a las comunidades que están en el entorno a través de los puestos de trabajo a familiares de estos, garantizando así un proyecto lindo y hermoso, rasgando el suelo y la tierra para obtener un mineral que se transformará en la transformación de energía en otros países para desarrollo y crecimiento de Venezuela y el mundo.
Nosotros somos los auténticos dueños absolutos de esta tierra desde hace más de 1500 años.
Y esta es una herencia que nos dejaron de los antepasados y nosotros lo tenemos que pelear. Como aquellos no pudieron pelear, pero nosotros sí lo vamos a pelear con todos los corajes. Encima de quien sea, vamos a pelear. La única manera que ellos toman esto, que ellos nos manden a matar toditos.
Acuso, abuso de ilusos, ya no es confuso, es el imperio del intruso. Rehuso y rechazo al que arrasó con nuestra fauna, su causa es absorber en mi tierra y la de...
And the idea that coal industry, and that's the coal power stations, that's the mining companies, are making profit from continuing to pump out CO2 into the atmosphere at the extent coal-fired power stations do, is absolutely revolting. There's no space for coal or burning fossil fuels in any sort of future. This coal-fired power station needs coal, and that coal is coming from places. So to support resistance movements against the extraction of coal is to support resistance movements against drags, and that's absolutely crucial.
Fun length. Well, I'm just...
So this, for example, is going to be the neck of the ostrich, which I think you've been told about before. So this is all made out of reclaimed plastics and plastic bags.
The point is that us, there's people in this camp, are not going to change the world. But every now and then, something like this, an event like this, can spark a really big, serious social movement, and that's the only thing that ever changes the world, basically. Experts never change the world, social movements do.
It's about adults walking down the street, talking about something that they care about. Yeah? What do you care about? Think about it. For one moment in your life, what do you really care about? This is oppression.
Police up here to protect this country lane because there wasn't enough crime going on in London, but they heard there were some children marching on the Drax power station, so they've come up here today to stop the kiddies from walking down the lane. And I want to say to every taxpayer, I think it's good to know that our children's future is being protected in this way.
Future! Clean energy right now! Clean energy for the future! Clean energy right now! Clean energy for the future! Clean energy.
So why are we here and what are we up to?
We're waiting to get into Drax to shut it down.
Are we having any luck so far?
Yeah, there's been a few people who've got in, yeah, but we're just stopping for a rest. It's a long, slow business shutting UK's biggest power station down, but no doubt it will shut down whether we're here or not. It's just a matter of speeding it up to make it better on us all.
Why is it going to shut down?
Because soon enough the problems will get so bad that everyone will realise it's a bloody stupid thing to be burning fossil fuels at the rate we're burning them, and that we're going to have to get our energy from somewhere else and learn to do with less stuff.
I think there is really still hope. I mean, we've got, 5-10 years to sort this out, and I think it's absolutely immediate, the kind of time frame in which we have to be working. But if we're not going to sort this out, then then this is the issue. There is no ifs or buts or maybes about this, and I think this has been a great start to what I'm hoping is going to be a really exciting new social movement.